You've heard me say that you can build a gaming PC out of an office PC for only $100 total, but I didn't show you how to do it. So let's take a closer look. What do you think? Hello everyone, and welcome to another super exciting video. Yes, today instead of the live repair and chat, we're going to talk about office PCs and upgrading them to gaming PCs. And many people I've asked, they said, well, you do this all the time, but you never actually make like a tutorial about it. And I never did because everybody else does that. If you type in office gaming PC, you're going to get 500,000 results of guys in big studios, and they have a lot of money and they buy a PC and they put stuff in it and they get 100,000 views. But it's not actually reality. So I thought, maybe what if we do what actually happens? A little guide. What if you knew nothing about computers and you just wanted to see what to do? So what I did was, I have these two guys right here, two office PCs, and the recipe for building them. So let's take a look. We have this Dell. This is in Inspiron, which I've never actually used before. And this is a Lenovo, forget the model, 400 series. Yeah, 400. So the goal here is to make a very ultimate, ultra budget gaming PC for $100 total. And you would say, why would you do that? Because that's not going to play anything, but actually it does. So let's look at the two candidates here. And when you have a $100 budget, the first thing you want to do is find the PC. So what I have for my recipe, I'll put it right here, is we only want to spend about $25 to $30 on the actual PC. And how you do that is you will go online. Don't type in gaming PC, type in desktop computer or just PC. Or just computer. And so the best deals that I have found were actually computers that people didn't know what they had. It was just to them it's just a computer. This is just a PC. They don't know what it is. They usually don't have the specs. And so if you think you can't find a desktop computer, office PC for $25, well, here's two. These were $25 each. I actually bought one for $5 at a yard sale before. And so it's possible. The reason why we don't want to spend a lot on the computer itself is because it's kind of just the holder for the rest of everything. If you spend $50 on this, then you won't have money for anything else. So $25 to $30 maximum. You go on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, maybe Craigslist, I don't know anymore. You type in computer, you type in Dell computer, you type in HP computer. You set your maximum budget to $50, and that weeds out everything else. And then you want to try and find something that somebody doesn't want. They want to give away, kind of. And that's where you get the best deals. So these were $25 each. And what we're going to do is, everybody knows that you put it in an SSD and you put in a graphics card in the office computer, that's fine. But all the videos that I've seen, they leave out a lot of little details. And I want to just do it completely with even the messy parts so that people actually know what to look for. And somebody actually asked me, they said, what do you look for? So you want Dell Optiplex, usually like a 3010, 3020, 9010, 9020, 7020, something like that. Any Lenovo that's not old. It's hard to tell, right? So how do you tell when it's old or not? So what you want to do is go here and you'll see you want a Core something. If it says Core 2 Duo, you don't want that. You want Core i3, you want Core i5. Core i7 would be ideal. And then there's generations. There's first gen, second gen, third gen, fourth gen. Well, how do you tell from looking at a picture online what the difference is? Well, let me show you. So here's the Lenovo. This is $25. Let's just pretend I'm looking online. And then the person online, they just show you a random picture and they don't have any specs and they don't know what it is. So what you do is you say, hey, can you send me a picture of the serial number? Here. So here's all the specs. So this is an i3 second gen Lenovo H430, 3.3 gigahertz. Also keep in mind that some people think that the Windows sticker is the serial number and it's not. Now let's go here to the Dell. And that's very convenient that it's all right there. The Dell doesn't have any of that information. So what you do is you go here and you say, hey, it's a Dell. Can you send me a picture of the service tag? If you type in the service tag and you go to the Dell website and you go into support, type in the serial number, it gives you all the specs. I actually didn't even know the specs of this when I bought it. I just bought this because I was buying it as a 4-pack. And so because I prefer Dells, I just took that one. Took this one, I took another couple ones. It was in another video that I'll link below when I actually bought these 4. So if you look at this service tag, it's actually a 4th gen i5, which is pretty good. So this is 2nd gen, this is 4th gen. You say, well, what's the difference between the gens? Well, you want the newer one if possible. 2nd gen though, don't be afraid of it. In most cases, you can put a 3rd gen processor in a 2nd gen. Depends on the computer. There's no way to tell exactly, but for the most part, I found that you can put a 3rd gen in a 2nd gen. You want to try and stay away from the 1st gen because it's very old and you can't really upgrade it anymore. So this is a 4th gen, this is a 2nd gen, same price. So you have spent $25 on the computer, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Now you get your GPU and you get your SSD, and you've seen these videos before. So an SSD on Amazon right now is about $15 to $16 for a 240 gigabyte SSD. You really don't want to get the 128s anymore because Fortnite itself is 75 gigabytes. So you will have no space to install anything else if you were to use Fortnite. This is a 500 gig that is just used as an example. So there's that. So you have 25, you have 15. That leaves you quite a bit of money for the GPU. You can spend up to $50. I would go in the maybe $30, $40 range. And so the question is, which GPU? Well, it's because these are office PCs. They have very low power supplies, and we're not going to talk about upgrading the power supply right now. So I just want to show you something, because the office PC that you get, depending on your situation, will be very different. So here's the Lenovo. The Lenovo's very low power supply wattage, and it's not going to say it directly on the thing like a big, it's not going to say it right here. You have to look very close. So this one, if we look very, very closely, where was it? It was, can't find it now. I think it was 280, see 264. Okay, maximum total power shall not exceed 280 watts. So you wouldn't know necessarily what the wattage is on this unless you super zoom in like here. Even though it looks like, it looks like a normal sort of a gaming PC setup. So this one's 280 watt. And you would say 280 watt is really not enough to run gaming, but it can. So what we do is we take our GPU. I don't know if we can do this here. 280 watts sounds like not very much, but I'm gonna open this bad boy up. And we've all seen these videos before. It looks really easy. But all of those videos, they were like pre-planned. So let's take this 550 Ti, which I bought for 20 bucks, I think, or was it 15 or 20 bucks? We're just gonna stick it right there, just for an example. So that's in. And then we're going to take our power adapter. Now you don't want to use power adapters, right? Ideally, everybody says don't use power adapters, burn my house down. It's okay because this card doesn't take up that much power. So it's gonna be fine. Nobody panic. This is a 550 Ti. This takes no power whatsoever. That plugs into the power adapter. And then we need SATA power, so we go here. Now what you're gonna find is, on these, there might be a lack of connections, depending on the age. So see, this one has Molex. So we have another SATA, we have another SATA, but it's way up here. So let's say, for example, we plug it in here. Great, so now we have power for our GPU. And then our hard drive is here. Now what you're going to find is that the computers that are a really good deal online will not have a hard drive because they pulled them. So try and find a PC that has a hard drive in it, if possible, because usually there's a lot of storage there. And then we would take our SSD and put it here in this case. We're going to do the same thing on the other, so you can see both examples. Now you say, well, there's no bracket for this, right? In this case, Lenovo's a little bit different. So what you do is you take this, and hopefully if you buy an SSD on Amazon, it comes with screws, because if not, you need screws. And you're just going to mount it this way. So usually you only get a couple screws to line up. In this case, it's not really lining up very well. Don't need a bunch. Don't be one of those people that just throws it in there, which I understand works, but it's not nice. Well, these don't line up at all. See, these are the frustrations that you don't see on typical YouTube videos that are edited. So I'm just pretending like I'm upgrading this PC, and the SSD does not fit well. So at least get one screw in there. Lenovo's a little bit different. So now see, we have no power for the SSD. So what you're going to do is, also you have no SATA connection for the SSD. So this is what you do. You take your DVD drive, which they always come with, and you sacrifice it for the SSD. So now what we're going to do is actually we're going to swap this. So the original hard drive connection is going to go to the SSD, and we're going to put the, nope, see that? That's not, see how it's angled like that? It's not good. I mean, it'll work, you just push it down, but it's not ideal. So we're going to put this one here. And this one here. So you're going to lose the DVD drive usually, unless you buy adapters or something. This one's also right angle. Then we'll run, oh, this is power supply is really strange. Okay. So there you go. So that's it, you're done. So this is very wonky, but it works. And let's try this. So that's a 550 Ti, which is kind of the same as mounting as a 1050 Ti. You really want to stay away from AMD at this point because it's just harder. So something like this, you have 1050s, 1063 gigabyte, whatever you can get for under, whatever you can get for under 50 bucks, 30, 40 bucks. So that was 20. What you want to stay away from is this. So this was $30, but this has a very high power requirement. And see all the connections there? We don't want all that in this case. And then we have this, which is perfect. This is a GTX 650. Doesn't need any power. Just plop it in, boom. or a 650 or a 750. Anything with a 50 in it is what you want to shoot for in this case. And then I have this one. I want to see if it fits. See, so what you're going to run into. So this is a 950. Very nice, right? Doesn't need much power. This is a 92 watt card. 75 watts comes from the PCIe slot. And it only needs 20 watts from the adapter. The SATA port is good for up to 54 watts. But then see what happens is it won't fit in a lot of cases. In this case it does. So let's try that. Boom. If this was a Dell, it wouldn't fit, I don't think. Boom. Done. There you go. Fortnite. Whatever you want. So 25. This was 15. SATA drive 15. Use the extra hard drive. Also, you want to get extra memory. Most of them come with 4 or 8 gigabytes. So I forget what's in it. I think this is 8. Let's see. Memory is probably the hardest part because you can't exactly go down the street and buy this, and they're kind of expensive on Amazon. So this is 4 gigs. So you're gonna need 15 bucks or so for that. At least 8 gigs. Fortnite will be running 12 at max. So, okay, that's the formula. So let's do the same thing on the other Dell and see what the difference is, because that's what nobody shows. They always do one computer. So let's do the same exact thing on the other one and see what kind of struggles we run into there. Back in a minute. Okay, round 2. So can we do the same thing again, and how would it work? So now we're going to pretend like we bought this PC which had no hard drive, and this one actually has no hard drive. So it's not far from the truth. So this one is a 4th generation Core i5, which is good, but we're left empty. Where do we go from here? So the nice thing is this one has a 300 watt power supply, which is super tiny. Where was it? Output right here. It's so tiny you can't even see it. 300 watt. So we're in good shape there. So we have, this is basically the layout of a Dell Optiplex, if you've seen those videos. But now we're going to run into some more issues. Let me show you. So this one actually comes with a graphics card. So let's take that out. I don't even know what's in here, actually. Oh, that's tiny. No idea. Problem is now, as far as Dells go, the hard drive cage use these blue slider things to put the hard drives in, and we don't have any. So what do? That's okay. What you would do in this case probably is just get a larger SSD, maybe a 500 gigabyte like this one, and then you can just put that here. And there's some little holes. This is what most people do in their videos. Some little holes here. Once again, you can only get one. Now I do actually have the blue Dell sliders. but for the purposes of sort of showing you what would happen in real life, since we don't have any blue sliders that we go here, what do? So this is what most people do. They'll put in the SSD with just one screw. It's kind of, it's not super secure, but it works. And look, we have no SATA cables, so that's not good. Let's steal the SATA cables from the other PC. And these are all things that you kind of have to think about when you're buying, because if you were buying a PC, let's say you were just doing this all by yourself and you had nothing else, you need SATA cables. So when you see it, this is especially for buying in person. When you see it, you want to kind of open the case and see what's inside, so you know what's in there and if it's worth it or not. I mean, it's cheap anyway, so this one has, wow, there's like no SATA power going on here. There's only two. This is not like an octopus. What is going on? Can't get the, let's try this. So see what I mean? How this can be completely different than the one I just showed you. So you watch a video on YouTube about doing an office PC, and then it has nothing to do with what actually happens. This is totally different. There's only two SATA powers, and look how short it is. So we're kind of screwed there. I mean, this thing, it has Wi-Fi, which is nice, but oh man, this is not good. Okay, so this one has 4 gigabytes of PC3 DDR3 memory. So you go online, right, and you say, hey, I'll just get another one. Not so fast. This is PC3L. It's not PC3, or not regular DDR3. Totally different. If you were to buy a DDR3 stick and put it in here, it wouldn't work, and then you would be very disappointed. So you have to see what memory is there, and then you have to get the same one. You can buy PC3L on Amazon, but I'm just saying, so it's another thing to look out for, because I did that before and then I put it in and it didn't work. Now it's like, man, that stinks. Now, see here, in this case, we can't use the long card. Doesn't fit. Every situation is different. So we're going to go back to either a 650 or 750, which will fit with no power connection, or back to what we did earlier. With this guy, all you have to do is make sure is that the graphics card does not exceed 120 watts power. And you can look that up online. So that would be like a 1650, 1660 if you can afford it. And in this case, we're only spending $100. There's the graphics card. The Dells have the graphics card a little bit lower in a lot of cases. So here, this should really be a 1050 Ti at this point, but there you go. Same thing, $100, 25 here, 40 or 50 here. Get a bigger SATA SSD, a 500 or a 1 terabyte. 300 watt power supply is already included. You don't have to upgrade it. We're gonna do this over again whenever we get a chance, and we're gonna raise the budget to $150, like what most people do. And what you would do then is you would get a new power supply and a better GPU like an RX 570, RX 580. I have one here, let's see. This is an RX 590. Also won't fit. Yeah. So yeah, the struggle with the Dells is real. Do we have another one? No. Yeah, that's it. Well, anyway. And you know, people will take out this cage and do all that stuff. I wanted to show you what would happen if you just bought this today, bought a GPU. Plenty of GPUs out there for 25, 30 bucks. Like I said, this one was 20. This one was 30. The 950 was $15, but it won't fit. And the 650, which is ideal for this, this one was free. Somebody just gave it to me. As far as performance, we're not going to get into that. This was just as far as the hardware goes. I've tested this setup already in another video that I'll link below. You kind of get Fortnite performance. Let's say it's a 3rd gen. You kind of get 100 FPS or so, but it's very spotty. It's very dependent on the memory. You need a lot of memory. And I found that if you just lock it at 60 frames per second, it's perfect. There's no frame drops. I mean, sure, it'll do 85, 100, whatever. But if you just lock it at 60, kind of like what's a console resolution, then it's perfect. It works perfectly. As far as other games, I don't know. I don't really know other games, but what we're gonna do with this one tomorrow is we're gonna play Rocket League. And I've never played Rocket League before. And I don't know what the what performance requirements are. So that'll be fun. So probably in 2 days or so, we're gonna try, I think, what are we gonna do? Should we do this one? Or the Lenovo? This one's faster, but it has less memory. As far as the adapters, these are on Amazon. So you have SATA to 6-pin. You can also get, if you have a really old computer, you can get dual Molex to 6-pin, but that sounds a little more dangerous. But yeah, if you know anything about Rocket League, let me know. I wish this would sit better. Anyway, it's been a while, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. But this is what happens when you build a gaming PC for 100 bucks. It works fine. Just choose your parts carefully. Buy them locally. If you buy this on eBay, you have to pay for shipping and tax, and that adds into the cost. So all of this stuff I bought basically in my neighborhood, and it's really easy. So yeah, we'll see you next time.